Minister of State for Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Tanko Sununu, don raise concern about Naija humanitarian wahala wey dey worsen every day. As e dey tok for the inauguration of the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee on Flood Management and Response, Sununu yarn say more than 3 million people still dey displaced because of flood, insecurity and other natural disasters. E warn say millions of Naija people fit enter more hunger and malnutrition as global aid money dey reduce. Rose Njagu, wey be our Abuja tori pesin, yarn us say the minister still reveal say over 5.9 million households, wey be about 25 million Naija people, don benefit from 419 billion conditional cash transfer wey government dey use reduce economic wahala and help poor families survive. E come still commend National Assembly for creating the committee wey go dey monitor humanitarian interventions.
We also mark a situation whereby globally funding is becoming short for humanitarian aid. In fact, the United Nations estimated that the funding gap today is 36 billion US dollars globally. And in Nigeria, we are also affected seriously. Just a few days ago, I had the cost address World Press Conference on the suspension of the activities of our World Food Program, which affected almost 1,300,000 Nigerians who are receiving emergency food transfer from the World Food Program. And also it led to shutting down of about 150 clinics run by World Food Program in the Northeast, leaving us with over 300,000 children at risk of malnutrition, with over 200,000 receiving treatment for malnutrition. And the prediction that over 24,800,000 Nigerians had suffered a form of hunger is another challenge. Now, if we look at the impact and the consequences of flooding in the country, it really calls for a concern. It has displaced most of our farmland, displaced a lot of Nigerians. As of today, the count of internally displaced persons is almost over 3 million Nigerians. And this is not just a figure, it's a size of a country in Africa. Therefore, we must all rise to address the global challenges.
For him own side, the chairman of the new committee, Medala Balami, tok say flood don pass seasonal problem. E don turn national emergency wey need urgent, coordinated and strategic action. E call on stakeholders including civil society, private sector and international partners make dem join hand develop sustainable national response to flooding and other humanitarian emergencies.
As we are all aware, flood has become a recurrent and devastating challenge across many parts of our country. Each year, lives are lost, properties destroyed, livelihood disrupted, and the socioeconomic fabric of the entire communities severely affected. This is no longer a seasonal inconvenience, it is a national emergency that demands urgent, coordinated, multi-sectoral, multidisciplinary strategic action. The establishment of this ad hoc committee therefore reflects the commitment of the 10th House of Representatives, the People's House, to address this crisis heads-on. Our mandate is clear: to investigate the root causes, assess the preparedness and response mechanism of relevant agencies, ministries, and engage stakeholders at all levels, recommend sustainable and actionable measures to mitigate the impact of flooding across Nigeria. We understand the worth of this task, but we are equally driven by the urgency to make differences. We shall work diligently, collaboratively, and transparently. We will listen to the voice of the affected communities, interface with experts, and ensure that our final report provides a blueprint for lasting solutions.
As Speaker of the House, Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, wey Leader of the House, Professor Julius Ihonbari represent, dey inaugurate the committee. He call on members make dem provide both quick and long-term solutions to Naija flood wahala. He yarn say the 10th House of Rep dey committed to issues wey affect Naija people directly, including natural disasters. He still task the committee make dem identify gaps for Naija readiness and recommend ways to fight against flood. He yarn make the committee work well with key agencies like NEMA, Ministries of Environment, Water Resources, health, works, and housing.
This ritual we perform every year. It is time for it to stop, and I'm hoping that this committee will do that. Every government at the local and state level, they know the flood is coming. They know. And sometimes they are using it to fleece the federal government because the presidency gives them money. Ecological fund, there's flood coming, 3 billion. Not one thing is done. No shelters are constructed, and where they are constructed, they are abandoned for an entire year. By the time the flood comes, they are not habitable. And I think this must stop. Enough is enough. This happens across the country. So I think the Speaker, in his wisdom, in consultation with the leadership, set up this committee. And if you look at the quality of persons here, you will know that this will work in collaboration with the agencies seated here. So every other thing we say is just to make you all feel good. But the real issue, let us look at the local government, see they still exist, and the state government. That is where there's no flood here in Aso Rock or in this National Assembly. The floods are in the states, in the local governments, in the communities. One entire year, nobody will say anything. You will not see it in any speech of any governor or local government chairman. Until when the flood comes, they start blaming the president. And I think we should change the narrative, focus the issue where the problem is, and deal with it once and for all.
Make una no forget, say, as we see am, na so we dey talk am. We know they take blame, or he fame or no see more. TMC News.